All right, Beard here, coach of the New York Steel Bells. Making a second attempt at recording this because I forgot to put the audio input in last time. So I'm going to go even faster. The last one was 7 minutes, but I really don't want to be doing this again. So basically, the first three picks ahead of me, because I was pick number 4, all divulged what they were taking. It was going to be Magearna, Mew, and Skarmory. I pretty much knew that. So I wanted to start off a Fairy Dragon Steel Core and get something with a ton of utility that can be really like anything from week to week. So I drafted Celesteela because it's got Beast Boost. It has almost a base 100. It's just great. Then I wanted to use my second pick to further that Fairy Dragon Steel Core because there's usually a run on fairies pretty quickly. I was gonna take Clefable, but it was taken like 2 or 3 picks before me. Oh well. Instead, I took Sylveon, which has Bulk as a special defender. It's got the ability to sweep with special attack. It's got Pixelade. It does a lot of things very well. My third pick, I wanted something that resists all the bullshit that Celesteela is weak to, electricity and fire. So I drafted an electric fire Pokemon, Rotom Heat, who does good stuff. He's got some bulk for what he is. Not as good as Rotom Wash, obviously, but he can do some stab electric, some stab fire. He has a very effective Volt Switch to move in and out of the fight. I like Rotom Heat a lot. And it's a ground immunity. So now I have 2 ground immunities and no weaknesses, which is fun. Fourth, so I actually flipped a coin on my Rotom Heat pick between Rotom Heat and Gastrodon. Ended up, didn't matter because Gastrodon was still there on my fourth pick, so that was nice. I took Gastrodon because I wanted some more bulk with reliable recovery, and I liked what Gastrodon could do. Also, its only weakness is grass, and as you can see, not only do I not have a grass weakness at that point, I had 2 quad grass resistances, so I knew Gastrodon was going to be pretty well protected. Then I took Gligar because at one point I wanted Gliscor, but it was so hotly contested that I was like, fuck this shit. And instead I took the baby form, which not as good, but it is more penisy, which is suitable to my playstyle. It can run Eviolite. It's some bulk. It can be a pretty reliable attacker if you need it to be. And its resistance to, I have 2 things already that resist ice that protects it from its quad ice weakness. So that was nice. Then I started to notice that I was missing a lot of types and that I wanted to start covering things that I didn't have. So I started looking at typing more than just specific Pokemon. And I saw that Scolipede, I didn't have a bug or a poison. And I was like, sure, I'll take Scolipede because my team's kind of slow. It's a speed passer. It can make other things faster. And it can sweep in a pinch. It does a lot of cool stuff. And to my delight, Fluco was pissed when I took Scolipede because he really, really wanted it and was depending on it to be there. But instead, it's on my team, so that'll be fun to use. Then after that, I was kind of worried. I had this team pretty much written out, but I was like, I didn't know what I needed to pick in what order to prevent myself from getting sniped. So I wanted to take Scrafty because it was really the only thing I was looking at in Tier 4 at the time, and I didn't want to get sniped on it. So I took Scrafty. His speed is really the only liability about him. He's got good bulk and good attack. But because I have Scolipede, Scrafty really lends himself well to being speed passed too. So I'm excited to see if I can do some cool stuff with him. And his pretty good typing, actually, Dark Fighting. Then I took Venusaur, which was exciting. So actually this pick I did some braining, some smartness. The people between my 2 picks in the wheel all had Mega Pokemon. So I was like, do I take Mega Charizard or do I take Venusaur? I ended up taking Mega Charizard because I knew that the people after me already had Megas. And that ended up working out because Wordfell wanted Venusaur. So I took Venusaur. I had originally wanted Mega Venusaur to go along with Celesteela because they pair really well together. But I ended up with the regular Venusaur, which isn't too bad. It's a Tier 3. It's got a lot of bulk. It's got reliable recovery. It can be a physical attacker, a special attacker, a physical wall, a special wall. It can do anything. It just has some extra weaknesses, but they can be covered by the fact that I have plenty of ice resistance and plenty of fire resistance. So then I looked at my team and I took Megazard X. The reason I took Megazard X is because it pairs amazingly well with Celesteela, and it finishes my Fairy Dragon Steel Core. It's weak to rocks, which is a little annoying, but I do have, I think, at least one rock resistance. But the nice thing about Megazord X is that it resists fire and electric, and Celesteela resists ice and ground. So they really pair well together, and I'm excited to do a lot of stuff with it because it's bulky, it's fast, it can be a special or a physical attacker, it can be a setup, it can be a wall, it can be a staller, it doesn't matter. It's got utility for freaking days. Then I really was trying to do the math to end up with Gengar as my last pick, or as my second to last pick, and I discovered that I did the math wrong, and Venusaur was a tier 3 and not a tier 5. So I didn't have the points for Venusaur, and I decided, whatever, that Spiritomb was the best available ghost between tier 2 and tier 4. So I took Spiritomb. It's got what I think is the best typing in the game, Dark Ghost. It's only weak to Fairy, and I've got plenty of Fairy resistance. So it's nice, another wall, but it's got good good attack stats, and it can stall. So I like having Spiritomb in there to be an immunity to normal and fighting in case I need to do that. And then finally I took what was my most important pick in the draft. The thing that I was like, I have to have this Pokemon, was Furfrou. It's never been drafted before, which is crazy to me because it's got 472 as its total stats for being a tier 5. It's got 102 base speed, it's fast, it's got good Spadef, and then its weakest stat is defense, but it doesn't matter because it's got Fur Coat, which doubles its defense, and then it also gets Cotton Guard. So this thing is a physical wall. It can rest talk, and yes, that's really the only thing that it does, but it does that thing really goddamn well, and I'm excited to try and make it something that gets picked in the future. So that's my draft. Nerd smells, and I hate all of you. Okay.